we've got some news. So our first bit of news is the return of the Water Festival. So from Friday, August 23rd at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, all the way until Friday, August 30th at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, Pokemon such as Magikarp, Wooper, and Wailmer will be appearing much more frequently everywhere in the wild. Not only that, but there will be increased hatch rates for water-type Pokemon, and in water biomes specifically, Pokemon such as Wartortle, Poliwhirl, Seaking, Lapras, Quillfish, Mantine, Lotad, Phoebus, Piplup, Weasel, and Finneon will be spawning more frequently. Also, both during and after the Water Festival, Kingler and Crawdaunt will be able to learn the Water-type charge move Crab Hammer. Also, from this event and afterwards, you'll be able to encounter the shiny forms of Carvanha and Barboach. Also, during the Water Festival, Pokemon such as Blastoise, Vaporeon, and Lapras will be available to battle in raids. And on Wednesday, August 28th, from 6 to 7 p.m. in your local time, instead of Rayquaza being the Pokemon during Legendary Raid Hour, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf will be available to battle in raids in its designated region. So if you're in the Asia area, you'll be able to battle Uxie during that time. If you're in Europe, you can battle Mesprit, and if you're in the Americas, you can battle Azelf. Lastly, some extra bonuses that are active during the Water Festival. You'll be able to get 2 times Hatch Candy, and if you assign a Water-type Pokemon as your buddy, the distance required to get buddy candies will be cut in half. So all in all, I think the Water Festival seems to be a pretty promising event. It not only gives people the chance to be able to get enough Magikarp and Wailmer candies in order to get their Gyarados and Wailord respectively, but it also seems to be a very good chance to get some new shinies in Carvanha and Barboach, as well as some old but gold shinies such as Lapras, Lotad, and Phoebus. And it also gives a chance to at least get one of the 3 Lake Trio Pokemon if you haven't already done so already. So for our next bit of news, we have an update to what the GoFest bonus might possibly be. They haven't actually given us the specific details as to what is going on for this Ultra bonus, but they did give us the days and times for each of the parts of this Ultra bonus. And pause. And let me just go ahead and move this video off to the side for now, because Niantic has released a few updates earlier today, some of which affect the Ultra bonus that I'm going to be talking about later in the video. But before that, one of the major updates that was released today was that the special research for Jirachi is now available to all trainers worldwide. So if you didn't get a chance to get Jirachi during any of the 3 Go Fests, you now have a chance to complete the special research and get yourself Jirachi. If you did get Jirachi during Go Fest, I'm sorry, you don't get a second Jirachi, but you do get more Jirachi candies to power them up. So now in terms of the Ultra bonus content, earlier today they've released more explicit details as to what the content is for each of the weeks of the Ultra bonus. So I will still leave the original video that includes the speculation, since it does include the original text as well as the date and time at which the Ultra bonus will be released. But I'll also be adding on these extra videos to kind of clarify as to what is actually being released for the Ultra bonus. So with that said, past me, take it away. So this bonus is actually split up into 3 different weeks. For the first week, which is from September 2nd until September 9th, the actual update reads, trainers can enjoy a chance to work on their Johto Pokedex while exploring and raiding. Put on your walking shoes, as Pokemon never before seen in eggs in Pokemon Go will be hatching during this time. So it could be possible that some of the more rare or the rarer Pokemon from Gen 2 will be spawning more in the wild as well as appearing more frequently in raids. But also it sounds like the Gen 2 regionals such as Heracross and Corsola could possibly be available to hatch from eggs during this week. One of the ways that we can speculate this is because of one of the things that I forgot about while recording the last bit of news, was that the Gen 1 regionals were available to hatch for a limited period of time from 7 kilometer eggs. So it could be possible that during this week, the same thing might be happening just with Heracross and Corsola. So for week 1 of the Ultra Bonus, unfortunately, the Johto regionals will not be coming to 7k eggs. Fortunately though, instead, if you happen to be extraordinarily lucky, you may be able to hatch the unknown in the forms of U, L, T, R, and A from 10 kilometer eggs during this week. So maybe it's not Heracross and Corsola, but it is unknown, which so far have only been widely available in any form of events like GoFest and Safari Zones, or if you happen to be really, really, really lucky and happen to find them at a random place in the wild. So this will definitely be an excellent chance to get an unknown if you haven't gotten one already. Other than that, the legendary beasts Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, as well as other Johto Pokemon, will be making an appearance in raids during this week, which is an excellent time to try and get the shiny versions of the legendary beasts if you haven't done so already. And after the start of this week, you may have a chance to encounter a shiny Sentret or a shiny Gligar. Also worth noting is that all incubators will have 2-time effectiveness during this week, which will definitely help with those unknown 10k eggs. For week 2 of the Ultra Bonus, which is from September 9th all the way until September 16th, the actual update reads, Pokemon from across the globe will join in the celebration this week, along with a special appearance by a mythical Pokemon that will be available to challenge in raids. So the first half of the update may possibly be alluding to another thing to do with regional exclusives, but one of the big things that comes out of this update is the fact that they're mentioning that a mythical Pokemon will be available in raids. Now there's a slight possibility that they could be alluding to Mew, Celebi, or Jirachi, since those are some of the mythical Pokemon that are already available in Pokemon Go. However, it's highly unlikely that it's those three, since they've more been known to only be available to unlock through special research. So it's more likely that this update is referring to the 2 Pokemon that have been available either in Legendary Raids or in EX Raids, and those mythical Pokemon are Mewtwo or Deoxys. Personally, I'm leaning more towards the release of Deoxys in Legendary Raids, mostly because that was one of my original guesses, and since we've already seen Mewtwo, it would make more sense to change it up and bring out another mythical Pokemon. But it could be possible that they're bringing Mewtwo back once again, back into raids, and maybe we might see a shiny form? Possibly? I don't know, I kind of doubt it, but could be a thing. So for week 2, we seem to have gotten it actually fairly bit accurate, actually more accurate than I originally assumed we were going to. So for the regional portion, the Kanto regionals, Farfetch'd, Kangaskhan, Mr. Mime, and Tauros will be reappearing in 7 kilometer eggs during this week, and it has been confirmed that all forms of Deoxys will be available in legendary raids. Also worth noting is that Pokemon that are known to be good counters against Deoxys will also be appearing in raids, so if you don't have any of the good counters, you may be able to participate in the other raids and get those Pokemon so that you can use those to fight off Deoxys. So for the last week of the Ultra Bonus, which is from September 16th all the way till September 23rd, the update specifically reads, unusual Pokemon will be appearing in the wild during this week. Noteworthy opponents are coming to raids too. So these sentences could be alluding to a wild change up to the wild spawns and to the Pokemon available in raids during this time. Over the course of the event, you may also be able to add some Pokemon to your Kanto Pokedex that previously eluded you in your part of the world. So this one seems to definitely be indicating something to do with the regional exclusives of Gen 1. So we could be seeing, Kangaskhan, Farfetch'd, Mr. Mime, and Tauros being available in the wild in places where they originally were unavailable. Venture out to take on challenges and make discoveries. As always, happy exploring, trainers. So this event seems to be alluding a lot more towards the Kanto Pokemon, and definitely has absolutely no references to any other generation or any other region of Pokemon. So I think it's safe to assume that the only Pokemon that are being affected during this part of the Ultra bonus is only Kanto Pokemon. Clearly, that's the only option. Am I being sarcastic enough? So for week 3, we seem to have called the Kanto regionals coming out roughly a week earlier. So that's not exactly the most accurate prediction. But the thing that I'm very glad that was actually correct from that part of the video was that the first wave of Gen 5 Pokemon will be released during this week. Other things to keep an eye out for during this week is that Mewtwo will be returning to Legendary Raids during this week. And what's very exciting about this is that if you're lucky, you may be able to encounter a shiny Mewtwo. I mean, look at him. Look at him with his lime green tail. Very excited for this. Just like Deoxys in the previous week, some of the good counters for Mewtwo will also be available in raids during this week. Also available in raids will be the Gen 5 Pokemon Clink, and if you're lucky you may be able to encounter its shiny form. Also available in the wild, you may be able to counter the shiny forms of the Gen 5 Pokemon Patrat and Lillipup. So week 3 may not have Kanto regionals. I can definitely say that it still has some very, very exciting content coming. So one last bit of news is that there will be another Safari Zone event occurring in New Taipei City. Specifically, it will be held in New Taipei Metropolitan Park from October 3rd to October 6th. This Safari Zone seems to have an emphasis on bug, grass, and water type Pokemon, including the Johto Regional Heracross, and it does not require a ticket to participate, so if you happen to be within the area of New Taipei City or just looking for someplace to travel, the Safari Zone is free to participate in New Taipei Metropolitan Park from October 3rd to October 6th. And with that, that's all the news I have for today. I will see you guys in the next video.